Welcome everybody to the second session of the biomarkers workshop, and I'd like to call on Peter Revill to take the virtual podium.
Thank you, Anna. On behalf of my co-convener, Professor Anna Kramvers, Professor Fabien Zoulim, our Serum Biomarkers Workshop Organising Committee, I welcome all of you to the second in our ICE-HBV Serum Biomarker Workshop series. Last Monday's workshop was a terrific night. Well, I say night, but for me it was a night. It was a tremendous success, and I'm sure today's workshop is going to be just as good. We have a really esteemed group of international expert speakers discussing hepatitis B virus biomarkers associated with cccDNA, liver cancer, occult HBV, and the unmet need of point-of-care tests. We'll be discussing the biomarkers that are needed to take us from bench to bedside, and we're going to hold another industry panel, interactive panel discussion with industry leaders on the most clinically relevant hepatitis B serum biomarkers. For today's workshop, I particularly wish to thank our ICE-HBV supporters and sponsors, particularly Janssen, Gilead Sciences, Roche Pharma, the Ray Shanazi Family Foundation, the Peter Doherty Institute for Infection and Immunity, ANRS, the Hepatitis B Foundation, the International HBV Meeting, the Australian Academy of Sciences, ACH2, the Australian Centre for Hepatitis Virology, and the many generous anonymous supporters. I'd particularly like to thank our Program Manager, Capucine Pennico, and Marley Easterbrook also for her excellent support. Now, before we commence the workshop itself, I wish to acknowledge that this is actually my last official duty as ICE-HBV Chair. It's been my honour to have held this position since the inception of ICE-HBV since 2016, but there are a number of people I wish to thank. I particularly thank Stephen Loccanini and Fabien Zoulim, who were there at the very, very start, and without whose inspiring leadership, ICE-HBV simply would not exist. I also thank the International Hepatitis B Virus Meeting for supporting the ICE-HBV concept when we very first suggested it at the Bad Nauheim meeting that Dieter Glieber organised in 2015. I thank our incredible program manager, Capucine, for her support, who's been a driving force for this initiative, and incredible support, amazing colleague and friend. I thank Sharon Lewin, Andrea Fisher and Mike Catton at the Doherty Institute for their incredible support, and they supported ICE-HBV from the very, very outset. I also thank Francois Deby and the many staff at ANRS with whom we've worked very closely over the years. I want to thank our first inaugural president, Frank Cesari, who was instrumental in publishing our global scientific strategy. And I thank all the chairs and members of our virology, immunology, clinical and stakeholders working groups and our senior advisors. I also thank all our past and current members of our wonderful ICE-HBV board who have been a delight to work with, and the Hepatitis B Foundation, with whom we've worked very closely to promote our shared goal of hepatitis B virus cure. Also thank Veronica Miller from the HBV Forum, who has supported ICE-HBV since its inception. I thank all of our sponsors and supporters, most of whom I've mentioned already, without whom ICE-HBV could not function. And finally, I want to thank my family, Marianne and Zoe, for their understanding and support these past few years. So now it's with pleasure I pass the chairmanship baton to my colleague and friend, Professor Fabien Zoulim, and welcome him as our incoming ICE-HBV chair, and ask Fabien to introduce our session chairs for the workshop. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you, Peter. I think we should all thank you and applaud you for all the outstanding and amazing work you've been doing for ICE-HBV and the community interested in fighting HBV and trying to defeat HBV. So we'd like to really thank you for all this effort, and I know that you will still be around in the ICE-HBV governing board and a strong supporter of all the different actions we'll have to make in the future to continue the fight against HBV. Now we have to start this workshop, second part of the workshop. So I'm really delighted to introduce you Ouriana Andrisani, who will be chairing this second part of the workshop. And I think I will help Ouriana as a co-chair this afternoon for France time and other part of the day, another part of the world. So please, Ouriana, I'll leave you start the session.
Thank you, Fabien, and greetings to all of you from Indiana, USA, and welcome to our session.